Welcome to another episode of This Old Hooptie, where I take this piece of crap and make it into something a little more pretty, I hope. In today's episode, it's going to be part one of a few. We're going to take apart or disassemble this old busted gas Yerfdog. It no longer works properly. The motor that was replaced is not connected to anything. The entire structure in the back here was chopped to hell. I'll bring you in and show you that in a little bit. None of the lights work, but this is a perfect opportunity to convert this thing to an electric go-kart. I got a 5,000 watt motor with a 72 volt battery. I got a far side controller. We'll test all that stuff in today's video, make sure everything is golden. This thing's gonna get a new paint job and a new lease on life and be a lot of fun for the kids to play around with. Like I said, this is an old Yerfdog go-kart. It's got brand new tires. They were just replaced, so that's a big plus. We'll start at the very back. It also has the Predator 212 engine, but as you can see, it's not mounted correctly. It's literally got two bolts through a piece of aluminum and nothing is connected. So it's got the wrong sprocket. This doesn't match this, but we're gonna take that all off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Like I said, we're converting this to electric. We've got lights on the back, lights on the front. None of this stuff is connected. It's all chopped up down here. I am pretty sure the hydraulic brakes work, so we're probably gonna reuse those, just redo this and make a proper mount for it. All of this stuff, as you can see, has been chopped up. All the structural stuff is gone, so we're gonna re-weld us a new area to work with here and get our motor, battery, and all our electricals mounted back here. As you can see, it's got new tires on the back as well. There's some meaty tires, nice looking. I've got some new shocks we're gonna replace. This thing's gonna get a paint job when we're done. These are all the components. We got the Kunray KR5V. That's a 5,000 watt motor. We got ourselves an electric pedal to replace for the one that's being used currently over there. 72 volt, I believe this is a 60 amp battery. Charger, shocks are over there. Far side controller. Let's get this thing up on stands and get this rear taken off of the back here so I can bring it over to my bench and get us something where we can actually work on. All right, so I'm just gonna get this out of my way really quick. Unfortunately, I can't open the door. Well, I guess I could, but I don't want to because it's 81 degrees in here and 100 degrees out there. So kind of want to stay a little comfortable. Let's just detach these two bolts and pull the motor off, and then I can get this part off over here and bring it over to my bench. All right, we'll deal with the motor later. Let me get you back here so we can take the rear axle assembly and the shocks down so we can get this thing over to the bench. Let's get this nonsense disassembled. And that's all that was holding the motor on. All right, so the easiest way to do this is weld up some new brackets for these. They're a little rusty. That's all right. Not bad. All right, let me get the tires off. All right, let's break out the big guns, see if we get these tires loosened up, because my poor little driver, it just wasn't having it. There we go. There we go. A little loosey-goosey action. Get some going. Here we go. One down, one to go. All right, as you saw, that was not easy to do. So I'm going to do this one off camera, same thing as the other one. I'll bring you guys over to the bench and we'll start figuring out how we're going to add some structure back to this chopped up axle support and get this thing working in our favor. See you in a minute. All right, so we are keeping the brakes as is, the rest of the stuff as is, so we really just need to replace the sprocket, which is why I was working to get that off. And in addition to that, we need to clean this up and get it working. So let me make myself some space, get this on the bench, let's keep going. All right, first things first, now that everything's apart, the axle is pretty much gonna go back in the way it came out. I've just gotta replace that sprocket. It's the wrong size for the chain and the sprocket that I already have on the 5,000 volt motor. As far as this goes, you can see all the structural support has been kind of pulled out of this, and they were bolting into this 20 gauge, or maybe this is 18 gauge steel. We're gonna change that. I'm gonna grind all this stuff off, get rid of all the rust, see what I'm working with, and then I'll probably cut these off since they were already cut off up here, make myself a brace across the back so I can strengthen this thing up. All right, let's start with cleaning up the rough spots. All right, she's ready for an OSPO bath. It's all shiny and clean. A little bit of pitting in here. Not a big deal. It's nothing too deep. Ospo will get in there and clear all that out and convert the rust. Then we can get this thing painted up. All right, that's about as clean as this old girl's gonna get. I still gotta slice off the bottoms here. Whew, look at that. Not bad, not bad. Cut off all the crap that I don't need. Still got the brake mounts on here. We'll weld this up because we're not using that hole anymore when we get to it. Shock mounts are actually good. They're on there nice and tight. I'll probably just add some tacks in the spaces here when we get to that. All right, let's quickly cut off these two ends. They're chopped up anyways. Like I said before, this is part of the original structure that's no longer gonna be here. And then we'll give this thing an OSFO bath and let it sit. We'll go over the electricals. Oh boy. All right, let's go. All right. All right. Prefer to keep my eyeballs. All right, let me just deburr the inside as well because I don't feel like getting cut on this later when I forget about it and grab it and cut myself. Alrighty, bathed in OSFO and starting to turn black already. So gonna get rid of every last bit of rust in this thing. We'll let it dry here overnight and then we'll check back on it in the morning. Alright guys, this is everything we need to make the magic happen. I'll give you a quick close-up of each. So this is a 72 volt 40 amp hour battery. We've got a pedal to swap it over from gas to electric. We've got the Kunray KR5V. This is a 5,000 watt motor. We've got the FAR driver. That's going to be our controller. We've got everything connected. All right, here we go. Let's key on, wait for the beep. Beep, we're good. And let's give it a little gas. If I just barely hold it, you can see it jumps. This thing's a beast. All right guys, now you know what we're working with. So I've got to weld up some brackets on the rear end that we just cleaned up and got ready. So that's going to be in the next video. That's going to bring us to the end of another video. You guys know what to do. Like it if you like, don't if you don't. Subscribe to keep up with my latest shenanigans. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.